Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
Today we're going to be talking about, well, it's called The Legend of Bruce Lee, but really is it?
Yeah, a film that fell off the back of the rickshaw and ended up in the Grindbin Twilight Zone.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky ain't got no real poetry.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
You could have been decent once in a while. And maybe Daddy would have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed.
So, Chris, here we are,
Yeah.
back in the bin,
Yeah.
digging through bin-type shit all over
Just
again.
pawing through it.
And today I regret actions that I've taken. So this was today's movie. This is going to be a different type of grind bin today. A real odd one.
Yeah.
Somebody mailed us a movie, and I decided to say, sure, if you mail me a movie, we'll go ahead and cover it. We'll blind watch that baby. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're not going to do that anymore. Unless for some reason you guys end up liking this episode of Grind Bin, which then we'll see.
Yeah, we've gotten how many honeymoon sex tapes already from you guys, and we want no more, please. God damn it.
Yeah, I don't want to review that. Please, no more.
God damn.
So I was sent a movie called The Legend of Bruce Lee, which stars Bruce Lee or Lay.
It's an L-E for the
L-E.
last name, yeah.
So Bruce L-E, not L-E-E, just L-E.
Yeah.
And it's called The Legend of Bruce Lee, and this DVD looks like, as Chris said, it fell off the back of a rickshaw there in Chinatown.
Like right up there with like the Star Wars Episode 1 bootlegs that you would find.
Yeah, all of this is wrong.
Yeah.
Every single thing listed on the back of this DVD, on the front of it, everything's wrong. The director's wrong. The only thing that's right is the name
And the photos.
of the actor, Bruce
Yeah.
Lee. Yes, Bruce Lee. And the photos, however, for some reason, the photos... I don't know how to explain this other than, like, for some reason on the back of the box, they've turned everybody... they've put them in blackface, which, as you can see, is very odd. I
I'd
don't know.
say that is just the way the printing came out at the Kinko's in
It
Chinatown.
must be, right?
Yeah.
So this is not the name of this movie. After a week
Really?
of researching, I managed to find out what movie this is, and we're going to go down a long, deep, dark rabbit hole to find out the
yes,
truth
please.
behind this movie and the man who stars in it. This movie is actually called Bruce, King of Kung Fu. It was made in 1982. It was re-released in 1988 on U.S. Home Video. With the title The Legend of Bruce Lee. This is confirmed on message board posts on IMDb for the page of the movie Bruce King of Kung Fu. If you look up the Bruce King of Kung Fu trailer, which we will not be playing in this episode because it's just music with still shots and Chinese writing that you could never fucking understand, it is the same movie. So I've confirmed it through after all of this long trial and error and emailing people and trying to figure out where the fuck this movie came from.
Yeah.
We found it. It says on the back of this DVD here that Daniel Lau is the director and screenplay, the screenwriter of this movie. That is incorrect. His real name is Darvey Lau. He is the real director. Is not what the box says. He made a few more Bruceploitation movies. Now, Chris, you're probably wondering, what the fuck does Bruceploitation mean?
I can only guess.
Well, this stars a man named Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
We'll just say Lee.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably supposed to be pronounced Bruce Lee. That's not his real name. We'll get into who he really was. It's not the other Bruce impersonator. Now you're probably going like, all right, what the hell is going on
Yeah.
here? The more famous Bruce Lee impersonator is Bruce Lee, which is Bruce with an L-I.
Yeah, I know of him.
You see, at the time, there were multiple Bruce Lee clones after he died in 1973, and studios overseas were just frantic on like, well, there's this huge hunger for these Bruce Lee movies. What are we going to do? I don't know, just take a random stuntman, call him Bruce Lee, put him in a movie, and we'll just keep making Bruce Lee movies like he never died.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. There's numerous of these. You know, they all have like terrible titles like we all know Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be like exit to enter the dragon, or like re-enter the dragon. They would just like capitalize on any sort of Bruce Lee name.
Penetrate the dragon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that starred Bruce Long.
Oh.
So the most famous of these people was Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is the one we're going to be talking about today. Today, his real name is Huang Jiang Long, a.k.a. Wong Kin Lung. He was born June 5th, 1950 in Burma. He is a martial artist and an actor known for his martial arts films of the 1970s and 80s. Most of these were inexpensively produced and were made to capitalize on the martial arts phenomenon that started by Bruce Lee, whose death in 1973 left a large box office void. Hence the name change, Bruce Lee. I'm reading this from his IMDb bio, by the way. I don't think it was credited on there. If it is, I'm sorry. Please email us and I'll give you credit. Bruce Lee was a contract player for the Shaw Brothers, where he appeared in the science fiction opus Inframan. He is more well known, however, for his Bruce Lee-inspired tribute films, also known as Bruceploitation. He made a few films for a Filipino producer before moving on to more recent work, such as stunt work on the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh.
And then the last thing I have is that he was eventually imprisoned in China for fraud. So I'm not sure where that goes, but that's in his IMDb profile. So not in his Wikipedia, but maybe somebody's having a little bit of fun, or maybe that road ended.
Yeah, that's a real random fact to be to be just made up.
Yeah, that's a serious charge.
Yeah.
You think it was for making fake Bruce Lee movies?
I think it was for making fake Bruce Lee fleshlights.
So the only way I figured out what this movie was that it stars... There's one guy that appears in this movie that I recognized.
Yeah.
He's in the movie Bloodsport. He plays the main villain, Chung Lee. He appears in this movie, so I went through Bruce Lee and Chung Lee's biographies there and matched the movies until I finally came up with one that they were both in.
Yeah.
Tracked down the title of the original movie, went to Google, found out, yep, this is it. That's the trailer. Also, somebody has uploaded this movie in full to YouTube, so you can go watch it if you so choose. We'll get into that.
This is going to be a real quick one, folks. I'll tell you what.
Oh, boy. So I got to say, before we get into this, Chris, the quality of this movie. Now, we haven't done any like bad kung fu movies or what have you is on this podcast.
For a good reason.
Yeah, because they're a dime a dozen, and there's millions of them. Literally thousands and thousands of these movies. Why we picked this one? Well, it was mailed to us.
Yeah. That was a literal gun to the head, if you will.
Oh, boy. I got to tell you, though, this movie, worse. This is it. This is the worst movie I've seen on this podcast.
Really? You're going to hold it below Black Devil Doll? And
for fuck's sake. This movie is...
Night Patrol?
This movie is below Night Patrol to me. This is the lowest of the low in terms of quality. I cannot believe this is a movie. I cannot believe that this was ever decided to be re-released for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
I can't even believe they wasted the paper to print these pictures of men in blackface on the back of this DVD case.
I think the printing was so cheap, that's how it came out, as Men in Blackface.
This is the worst. At some point, somebody must have just been like, well, it's a movie, so we might as well just, I don't know, we bought it for $5. Let's just release it, sell it on the streets. Maybe somebody will buy it. Put Bruce Lee's name on it. Because holy fuck, is this this is a massive pile of trash that should have been lit on fire and this should have just been on a barge in China that they just lit on fire and just floated out to sea. Burnt those original film negatives and just forgot it for the end of time.
Yeah.
Never to be found and heard from again. Buried in the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, agreed, because I just can't take this film seriously for what it was at the time to be taken seriously, and look at it now, it's still very trying. If you try to even look at it as a joke, it's hard. It's so hard. Like the first 5 minutes, it's like very endearing, but after that...
I can't, Chris, you'll see as we go through this, my notes. I honestly don't understand what's going on.
Oh, thank you.
And then plot points start happening off screen.
Yeah.
We'll get to this, but I would say this most compares to a movie we covered a long time ago on this podcast, which is Dangerous Men.
Oh, yeah. This is the Dangerous Men of Kung Fu.
Yeah, this movie is on the production quality of Dangerous Men. It is incoherent at best. Now, let's get into it. We start, Chris, with grainy ass film footage because, boy, it looks like they just literally picked this film up out of a trash can, dusted it off, and said, put it on home video. A man walks down a dock and he buys a paper. And we see the headline of the paper, which I assume we're supposed to read. However, the shot like literally just flashes for like not even 2 seconds. It goes like, and paper, and that's it. And the headline, I had to pause it a few times to get it on the exact thing. It's there for 0.2 seconds. All I can read is the word Bismarck. I paused it. It said, Bismarck sunk. British Navy sinks Bismarck. And then all of a sudden, we cut to this POV of like a suitcase, and a woman's legs are on it. And now all of a sudden, we're on a boat. And these 2 people are on it. By the way, does this... Now that I think about it, I'm looking back on it. This fucking paper didn't have anything to do with anything.
Maybe we're supposed to set a point in history to let us know what time frame we're in, like
Gotta
a year.
be, right?
Yeah, like the Bismarck.
I guess. So, all of a sudden, we're on a boat, okay? And there's this old man and this lady, and then this other old man sitting next to him. And I write, this is 38 seconds into a movie, and I don't know where the fuck I am. So we're on this boat, and this old guy who bought that paper is sitting next to a woman with a kid, and there's an even older guy next to her. And we hear the sound effect of, I'm not sure, but apparently a meteor. All of a sudden you hear like a man going like, like
I couldn't figure out if this was like bad Foley work or it was like on camera effects that they did for all the audio, because it's sure everything else in this movie sounds like a Street Fighter video game.
Like it does. It's like, if you want to know where Street Fighter 2 got its sound effects, no, it sounds like just some guy standing in the background and he's like, all right, Eddie, we're rolling. Foley, take 1. All right, that's the meteor. So then this guy stands up and he goes, oh, that was a meteor.
Because they're such experts over there.
Yeah, and he goes, did you see that meteor? It was surely shining for your son. And so the man who bought
is that a character introduction right there?
Okay, no, hold on. This guy will never see this fucking old asshole again.
Yeah.
This wrinkly old man stands up and says, did you see this meteor? It was shining for your son. And then the man who bought the paper goes, well, I don't believe in that tomfoolery. And then we just like do the fastest cut you've ever seen between like a baby's face and pictures of Bruce Lee. And then there's a snake biting the air and the title comes up that says The Legend of Bruce Lee. And I just write, okay.
Yeah. Are we missing on some point in a Bruce Lee autobiography where there was a comment and the Bismarck and
okay. I don't know anything about the real Bruce Lee, but all I can gather from this movie is that he was born, then a meteor came down, and then there was a series of flash cuts, and now all of a sudden
there were 3 wise men. It was very Christ-like, everybody.
What the fuck is going on? Why are we even on this boat? It doesn't say where they're going, like, we're trying to start a new life. No.
I mean, here's what I think it is. It's whatever quote-unquote studio had the stock footage available, and they said, you need this amount of minutes, take what you want, Ed Wood style.
I wonder what the original version of this movie is like, because it seems to me
re-edited heavily.
A U.S. studio bought this movie. Yeah. This guy's like, well, what the fuck are we going to do with 3 hours of this shit? Nobody wants to see it. All right, just put in the fight scenes.
But space them out every 5 to 6 minutes. We need another fight scene.
No. They're going to get bored. As far as those major plot points go, just have them dubbed over. We'll tell them later, like some guy died, just put it in. Nobody knows the difference.
Sir, the only actors we have are Australian, British, and I'm not sure what you want from us. This is a kung fu movie, I don't know.
Oh, I can't wait to get to this. Bruce Lee. Okay, then we see so he's drinking something, and then he's fighting a guy while the credits roll for a while, and then we go to what I guess is a school. Okay, so then this guy Bruce, he walks out and he fights these guys that are just waiting for him. And then, I love this though. In the middle of a fight scene, the production company that bought this movie in America put copyright 1986.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
It says 186, copyright by Ocean Shores Video, Ltd. It blocks almost all of the fight scene, and it just shows up real big on the screen.
They really wanted their name on this. They're watching. Put it up now.
Yeah, but make sure you put our credits. You got to show that it is copyright. We did pay for it because we're going to be getting calls. Trust me, we're getting calls on this one. So then Bruce kicks these guys' ass. And then more guys show up. He fights them. And this is when you first realize that, like you said, Chris, the Foley work in this movie. Oh, boy. I mean, like, you'll hear punches and kicks, but you don't necessarily see punches and kicks.
No.
Like, nothing matches up within even close to when it happens.
Yeah, everything feels like it was done in one take in post.
There's a guy sitting on a board, and the producer's like, all right, I'm just going to press play and roll the movie, and then we don't have time for you to kind of cut it with it, so just push this button for punch and this button for kick, all right? So we're going to play it just in real time. I'm going to record you. Just go like boom, 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 like you're playing a video game or something.
You think anytime the button got like stuck, and like that's why it's off?
Hey, that's fine, that's fine.
We'll go try again tomorrow.
So, this seriously seems like it was. So they just recorded this in real time. Here's punch, here's kick, go. Press play. Oh, sir, I missed that. Nope, keep it going. So this goes on for a long time. Bruce loses a fight, and this sad music plays, and then he comes home. Okay, now here's where I have the first problem. So Bruce comes home, and okay, so this is that baby on the boat, right?
Yeah.
And that man who got on the boat, who bought the paper, whose baby this is, was like, he was advanced in age. I'd say. Like 70s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's apparently Bruce's dad, and he's the exact same age as he was in the beginning of this movie.
Thank you.
He looks like he's an inch from death when he bought that paper, and no, he's still alive like, what, 20 years later?
Yeah. Hey, you know, the Chinese diet, you know, the way of life.
The Chinese diet.
I don't know. It must be good.
Oh.
It must be good.
So then we just hear like, he's all like, oh, you were out fighting. And this is when we first hear Bruce's voice, which, holy fuck, they must have just not had anybody at the studio that could, I guess, do a better voice, because, oh my God, Chris.
This is like below Crown and International standards if they did voiceovers, I think.
The guy who does Bruce's voice in this movie is, he doesn't match at all.
No.
How would you even explain it? Like, we'll play a sample, but it's like I can't even imitate it. It's so bad.
I can't either. I'm at a loss. It's I'll say,
hello, father.
Yeah, this is like if you're watching like a comedy and they're watching this in the background as a joke on purpose. Like, this is what they made on purpose to be a joke in the background of another movie.
You're always getting into trouble. And you're still only at college. You should be ashamed.
But they forced me to. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry.
Like the people over
Like a
at
Pauly Shore movie or something.
The people over at Ocean Shores just gathered up. Intern, what are you doing today? Hey, you want to be in a movie? By the way, you don't get paid to work here as an intern. You're not going to get paid to be in a movie, but you know what? It'll be fun. You can share it with your family. You tell them, hey, I got to be in a movie. You're going to be Bruce Lee.
Who gets to wear a belt bigger than that, kid? Boy.
So then, okay, apparently the dad's all bad because he was fighting, because Bruce, he's always fighting, right? And he's like, oh, well, I'm going to send you to some master, and he knows Wing Ching Fist. And a quick Google search told me that is not a real thing at all. So, imagine in that studio. I don't know, just Wing Ching. I ordered it the other day. It sounds like it means I saw it on a menu.
Yeah. This is what they did. They just had an intern bringing a bunch of takeout menus.
Bring in that takeout menu. Yeah. Wing Ching. All right, that's the...
They cut out a bunch of words at the end of words and just kind of taped them like a ransom letter. And that's when it came up with these
I don't know. How did we come up with the karate? The internet doesn't exist. I don't know any Asian people.
Make sure you got a hong and a chin in there.
Yeah. Instead of, add a G to the end of everything. So Wing Ching. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Attaboy.
This whole fucking movie was just based off a takeout menu. This whole fucking... So then we go to this school, okay, and oh my God. We go to this the school where this master teaches, right?
Yeah.
And the dubbing is just incredible on this part.
Yeah.
So we show up and Bruce is like outside, and this is like split together in like 1 second.
Yes.
We'll play the full audio of it, but he goes like, my father told me to come in. That's how it's like they talk over each other just because there wasn't enough There wasn't enough time in the shot to get in all that dialogue, apparently.
Right.
My father told me to come.
Come in.
Do you think they just had that little film left on like in the camera to roll? And like we've used up all the shots. Just
Fuck.
how much film we got? 8 inches of film? God damn. That's all they had left.
Cut down that shot of the newspaper. Nobody needs to read that. All right, kid, you're going to have to say this one real quick. My phone told me to come in. So this scene's insane. We basically see Bruce, he says, like, he gets in a fight with this guy, and he's like, hey, boxing's better, and he's like, no, kung fu's better. And then Bruce gets mad, and, like, for some reason, for no reason at all, really, because they weren't saying what they say in the dubbed version, because this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because Bruce just, like, gets mad, and then he, like, bangs on a table and, like, knocks over a bunch of teacups. And then the teacher just kicks his ass, and that's how this scene ends.
Again,
It
8 inches of film left.
Like, okay, so a man walks into a room, he goes, no, boxing's better. And he goes, no, kung fu's better. Hey, fuck you. And then he hits a bunch of fucking shit off a table. They get in a fight. We're done.
Well, because we need to have time for the 5 other fight sequences that lead to nowhere. You know?
Can you see them going like, well, I don't really know what's going on in this scene.
Yeah.
See, I imagine it that they have no fucking idea what this movie is about.
Yeah.
And them over at Ocean Shores Video, or wherever the fuck this is. What is this? Yeah, Ocean Shores Video, LTD.
On a Good Times DVD.
They're just sitting there, they're going like, what do you think they're talking about in this scene? I don't know. Maybe he comes in because he puts his fists up. He goes, no, boxing's better. And then he goes, no, kung fu's better. Oh, that's a good thing. And then he hits the shit off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just record that. Go ahead, fire it up. Intern. Maybe we should know Chinese. Do you know anybody who knows Chinese?
Oh, we can call the takeout guy and you have him come over.
Yeah, go get that menu.
really
Let's call
wanna-
up that kid, see if we can. And they got a fucking.
No, fuck get the manager. We need the manager.
They call up a Chinese. They call. All right. Okay. 2 things. 1, I am getting hungry. 2, call up that Chinese place we got that Wing Ching from. Ask him to bring over a delivery guy. Tell him to bring over one that speaks Chinese, all right?
Not Mandarin.
Tell him we're going to need him for a little bit.
Tell him it's a catering party. Tell him it's a business party.
I could just see. Also, maybe if we eat, what we need to do is get ourselves in the Chinese mood, If we eat the Chinese food, maybe we can understand the Chinese language.
The Chinese way.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're
maybe
saying.
later we call over some Chinese broads,
A little,
Man, I'm getting ahead of myself now. All right, call in that kid. And then you go 40 minutes later and this fucking delivery guy shows up. He goes, hey, kid, come over here. You speak Chinese, right? No. What the fuck? No, I go to UCLA. Well, hey, you got a grandpa that speaks Chinese or something, right? Can you tell us what they're saying in this scene? Like, they're just calling up delivery men throughout the process of this movie, just trying to get them to decipher what's going on. Because none of this makes any sense.
Yeah, I just see them going through every intern, trying to see, like, all right, how slant are his eyes? Get him in there.
Hey, whoa. Call up that kid, remember that one intern we had a couple years ago? You know that one kid? No, I don't. You know the one, I don't. Look, if I say this, it's going to sound racist, but you know what I'm talking about. The one Eastern persuasion, if you know what I mean. They're calling up every fucking delivery guy in L.A. trying to figure out who can speak Chinese and decipher this movie for them.
They give it like the 5-second test. If they pick up the phone and it's not a Chinese accent, they just hang up. They just hang the fuck up.
They call up the Chinese restaurant and they just start playing audio from the movie in the phone and they say, all right, now see how he responds to it. Write down what he says, kid. Kid, I want you to call every Chinese restaurant in town. And you go ahead, just play some audio for them and then see how they respond. Write it down. Bring it back to me. We're going to make a movie out of it.
You think there's like a hierarchy of places they went through? Like, they started with Chinese restaurant, then they went to Rub and Tug. After that.
All over town, this guy said, hey, hey, you look Asian. You speak of the Chinese?
Speak of the Chinese.
Oh, no, sir, I'm from Vietnam. Well, it's close. I mean, I know a little bit of Mexican. Maybe you know a little bit of Chinese, right? This is a conglomeration of every Chinese delivery man in town's interpretation of what this movie means. So we go to this college. Bruce goes to school and he sees these same bullies who try to beat him up, right? I do like this part. For some reason, these bullies are trying to force feed a woman a cigarette. So the scene we walk in on is one of the oddest things I've ever seen. Is there's a girl like sitting on a planter and these guys are like they're like, come on, smoke it. Smoke that cigarette. Get that tobacco in your lungs.
Because it was like, was this supposed to be like a sexual domination
No,
thing?
they're just
or-
like, come on, baby.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Smoke the cigarette.
Put it in your mouth kind of thing.
No, I think they just work for the local tobacco company, and they're like, all right, we need more smokers in this town, so please just go grab women and force cigarettes into their mouths, and hopefully the nicotine will work its magic from there.
Yeah.
That's the plan of this white shirt, black pant gang. And we'll get to that because every single fucking person in this movie dresses the same and it's almost impossible to tell who's who. So Bruce, like, he walks in and he beats up these guys, but then the bullies win. And the girl picks him up off the ground and she says, okay, I love this, Chris. This is the dub. Thanks a lot for saving me, but I'm late for college.
Because...
They gotta know she's in college. If she says class, I don't know. They could think she's in 6th grade, this girl. They don't know. I mean, they're just writing this down in fucking cocktail napkins. And
how do they know he's not like a teacher, like, like a professor? I'm late for college.
They have no idea what's going on. So we go to this class, and then Bruce comes late, and the teacher yells at him, and then all of a sudden we see Bruce like beats up these bullies with a stick, and then we cut to the dean's office where he's spanking Bruce's ass with a stick. And says he should be expelled. And I write, what is this, fucking grade school?
Yeah, corporal punishment.
What
is
college?
I never in my life, even, maybe community college,
Yeah, community college, you can get the cane, the caning.
You can get away with whatever the fuck you want there. No one's paying that much to get in there. No one gives a fuck, trust me. Fuck off for like that. You go to junior college for 2 reasons: to sell weed and to buy weed, and that's it. Don't even tell me these accredited junior colleges.
Well, I transferred from a junior college, so
yeah, and that's all they're good for.
Yeah,
really, that's all you need.
I did get the caning once when I came in late to a class. So we go to this kung fu school, and Bruce is having a lesson with his teacher, and off screen we hear voiceover where he says, "Master, I want to harden up my arm," and I write, what does that even mean? And then we just see shots of him rubbing his arms along a log with like breasts on it, and I guess this hardens the arms.
You know what I really wanted to see? Here's what I wanted to see: is the master just standing up straight with a giant erection, and him having him rub his arms over his erection. Like, your arms are so hard.
Doing well. It's like, okay, I imagine these guys sitting in this room and they go, why is he petting that log with the breasts on it? And he's like, I don't know. What do you think that does? Well, I don't know. I mean, when I rub something with breasts on it, I'm usually getting hard. Oh, fuck. He wants to harden his arms. That's all I can imagine from this. So apparently, Chris, because he's not hitting it, he's just like lightly rubbing his arms around this log with 2 sticks sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is a move. It hardens the arms. This was Ocean Shores Video's interpretation of training for Kung Fu. So we go to this town market where this amazing music plays, and Bruce and these random friends of his that are now going to be in the rest of this movie, this like bald-headed guy who's just like, I don't know, what's the one in Three Stooges that's bald?
Is it Curly or?
Yeah, one of them.
Larry, Curly, and Moe.
Yeah.
I'll go Curly because it sounds ironic.
Yeah, I think it is Curly. Yeah. So we got Curly here, the bald head guy, and his other friend who apparently over at Ocean Shores Video Ltd, they ran out of Americans. So the only guy left was an Australian intern.
Like,
in for the semester. Yeah. And they're like, hey, kid, look, we know you're literally the furthest thing from an Asian man that we have in this office, but we ran out of people. Can you record a voice in this movie? You're going to play the character of Charlie. We named him Charlie because we thought, with the Vietnam War, we know Charlie. I imagine they called him Charlie because there's probably a lot of Charlies over there. But
A lot of chucks running around.
yeah, a lot of Chucks over in China.
An oatmeal in the shoes.
So one of his friends is voiced by an Australian man, which we will play some samples of.
That was a close shave back there.
Hey, Bruce, you really were fantastic. That was marvelous.
Bruce, let me see that knife.
So this game they're playing, Chris, is apparently for money, and Bruce has to... Okay, this sounds like the worst idea for a game I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Now, we know 3-card money, pick the card. We know, guess which hand it's in. But I've never seen grab a lemon before a man stabs you in the hand with the switchblade. You imagine this game over in Central Park?
You, sir, have never been to Russia.
Come here. You want to play a game? You grab lemon before I stab you in the fucking hand. You get money.
Lots of rubles.
So apparently this is a game, and for $10 you can try and grab a lemon or get stabbed in the hand. It's a real gamble. This is, you think gambling away your money over at the blackjack table's tough. Yeah, welcome to China. It takes it's $10 or your fucking hand.
Yeah.
That's how the mean streets of China gamble. Basically, Bruce wins because he does some sort of mind trick and suddenly has money in his hand and the lemon's gone.
Oh, well.
Then he runs away and the guy throws the knife at him, but Bruce catches it, but the blade goes in his hand. Right, there's blood. He catches this blade, but it slices.
But it's the blood isn't squirting. It was there. It looks like it was there for minutes already. The blood coming out. It's a very unconvincing shot.
Yeah,
but he just caught it midair. And that's all it is.
So then we just cut to later, and he's in an alleyway with his friends, and that's when I realized that why the fuck is one of these guys Australian? Because it's Bruce will be like, oh, I won the money from that game. And this guy goes, all right, well.
Oh, back to the Queensland, right we do.
Oh, you call that a knife? And then Bruce takes the knife away because he says it's, quote, an offensive weapon, and he just throws it in the water. And then all of a sudden we cut to some lady walking into a hotel or something. And then the Australian and the bald guy kind of spy. So I don't understand what the fuck is going on and why this was included. But apparently, they go to this hotel. Is this a brothel?
I don't know, because it looks like one of those hourly hotels, and it's the first floor. It's literally next to the receptionist desk.
Yeah,
really.
So a lady walks in, and she walks into a door, like you said, within 2 feet of the reception desk, and they're like, oh, that lady's attractive. They're like, yeah, let's peep on her.
Yeah.
And they become a bunch of peeping toms and look through the keyhole, and I guess there's some girl in there with a guy, and then basically I don't know, they just get caught and there's another fight scene. None of this makes any sense.
Yeah.
This is right. At this point, this movie is fucking useless. I don't know who's who, what's what. I've seen a man rub a log with his hands and it apparently hards his arms. I've seen a man grab a lemon instead of getting stabbed in the hand. And now I've seen people spy on a whore. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. We go to this town.
What if this was a deleted scene, and these people in this room had a bigger backstory to
Chris, the whole movie is a deleted scene. I mean, we're going to get to some of these. The movie, actually, this is one of the rare cases of a movie getting kind of better as it goes on, because things just continually get worse and worse. It gets to the point where it's just literally absurd. I mean, look, not to spoil anything, but we're going to get to a point in this movie where a man bitch slaps a cobra. This is how absurd this movie's about to get. So we go to this very, very illegally shot footage of an actual Chinese temple and a shopping area where they've put the camera in the back of a rickshaw and covered it with a blanket or something, and all right, bald guy, we're gonna have you walk through this town. It's all shaky and out of focus, and all it is just the bald guy walks up and he prays on this thing, and then we just see him walk around for a while, and then he goes to some blind guy, right, and he tries to rob him. But then the blind guy sees him and he beats him up, and there's this big long fight scene between him, and then Bruce shows up to save the day. And this is how this movie is. Like, it's just going to be here and here and here. The reason I'm mentioning this scene, Chris, is because this guy says, like, oh, I'm a master of blind fighting or something like this, right?
Yeah. And this is the only reason this guy exists.
Okay, there are only, by my knowledge, I've never been to China, but according to the logic of this movie, there's only 3 types of people in China: old people, young people, and masters.
Thank you.
We're going to meet about 20 people in this movie that they call master. Everybody is a master of some new form of kung fu.
Or
like,
it's some like S&M town.
Because he's like, oh, that's a blind master kung fu. Like, they're just sitting there dubbing like, well, who's this blind guy they're robbing this from? I don't know, but he's good at fighting. Well, he must be some sort of blind kung fu master. All right, we'll put that in the movie. Well, who's this other guy we meet? I don't know. He's some sort of stick master. Well, call him a master. Everybody in this movie is named Master. And it gets so fucking confusing because at some points we're just calling every other person in this movie is just called Master.
I think they just didn't, at the studio, they didn't have any other names to rhyme after Ying or Wing or Yang or Chang or...
They're just, I have no idea. Because then later we cut to Bruce is at a class with another master guy. This master knows all about the blind guy, and then we watch Bruce punch his hand into hot sand for a while and then do more of that log rolling work. And apparently this is practice fighting. But then I wrote, or maybe, just maybe, this master is actually teaching Bruce how to make pastries. And this is just all some
a big elaborate long con. This is a slow burn for this guy.
His dad was just like, well, he wants to fight. Well, really what he should be doing is learning a trade. So I'm just going to pretend to send him to kung fu school, but he's going to come out learning how to cook pastries. Because he's using, he's putting his hand in the dough, he's rolling some stuff, he's on his way to being a master pastry chef.
At the end, like his graduation ceremony, and all the monks are lined up, and they just bring out a chef's hat and a rolling pin. It's a golden rolling pin. And that's it.
And they go, hey, you start tomorrow at 5 a.m.
We got a catering order for about 500. Schwartzman family. Bar mitzvah.
So then we see like the master teaching Bruce how to fight with a blindfold on. The way he does this is just makes Bruce put a blindfold on and smacks him in the face with a stick a few times. And at this point I write, like, so during this fight sequence or training sequence, the music in this movie is like that of like a Disney adventure film.
Thank you. Oh God, it's
it sounds like Swiss Family Robinson. You know what I mean?
With like even worse casting than Chester Novell Turner ever used.
Oh, the music in this movie is amazing. The stock music they had over at Ocean Shores Ltd. Well, this is the only music we have, so we got to use it.
Yeah. This is the music from the bathroom of the Chinese restaurant that they got.
Kid.
We need you to
go down that Chinese restaurant, bring a microphone. Also, record with the kind of keep your ears open, see what they're saying. See if you pick up any Chinese words or anything. Also, see if you can decipher this menu.
And then a plate of wontons.
Bring the DAT machine down to that bathroom and start recording the music you hear in there. Don't mind any flushes. We'll edit them out.
Yeah. Or we'll film it next to a river, and there'll be the sound effects.
just in the middle of a scene, you're just here like... That's what they use for the fight scenes. Okay, I can say it. It's perfect, and it's perfect.
A lot of oh gods in that fight scene for some reason.
Oh god! So then we go to the night. Okay, we just immediately cut to Bruce and his friends beating up guys in an alley. Like, okay, so we go from him training to him like mid punch in a fight scene.
Yeah.
We don't know where the fuck we are. I write, at this point, it must be the second level or something. Like, this is Streets to Rage, the movie.
Yeah.
We've now entered level 2. Time to fight the guys.
This is just, like, the inspiration for a Double Dragon.
Yeah, it is. It's just a Double Dragon. Like, they made a Double Dragon movie.
Yeah.
This is it,
Yeah.
This is what the movie should have been. A lady gets punched in the face. Guys take her away. They go fight guys. That would have made more sense than this. Then all of a sudden we just like hard cut to this school. So now we're going to meet what I call the white shirt and the black pants gang, because that's all I know about these people is there's this like rival school that for some reason is just hates Bruce and his friends.
Yeah.
And it's this master guy, like an old man, and then he has this crazy assistant, which I'm going to call Fan Man, because he runs around with the fan the whole movie. You know what I'm talking about, Fan Man.
Yeah.
With the glasses.
Yeah, it's one of those characters that they just wrote in the last minute because there needs to be some other,
Okay, yeah, wrote in. Chris, they don't know what's going on in this movie at Ocean Shores. They got this movie, they're like, wait, hold on. Who the fuck are these guys sitting in this room? What do they have to do with anything with the movie? Like, I imagine they're writing this, like, they're just pressing pause and then trying to figure out what this is.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't watch the whole movie. They're like, no, I'm not watching this movie more than once. We're going to fucking do this right now.
Yeah. We've got 6 other films we got to do after this by 6.
Yeah, God damn it, kid. This movie's doing a rickshaw in half an hour. We got to get this fucking going. And he's the presses are hot. So we only rented it for the night, we got our runs tonight. If we don't get that VHS over there, we're fucked.
$5.99, not on my tab.
I got about 10,000 distribution deals down in Chinatown. I mean, we're just dropping the boxes off later tonight, so this needs to be done. How's that box art coming? Did you just steal that other box out from that other movie and put your title on it? Yes, that's exactly what this movie did, by the way. They stole the box art from another movie, just kind of photoshopped their way out of it and put a different title on the top. Yeah, because I imagine them sitting there going like, whoa, wait, hold on. Who's this fan guy and who's this other guy and there's all these other kids here? And they just go, oh, I don't know. Just make them hate Bruce. Look, they don't like him. All right, just throw that in. Because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense.
Nope, it's... we're not even near the halfway point on this fucker.
I just write, are we missing something?
Yeah.
Like, has footage been cut out of this movie? Have scenes been lost? Because I don't know where I am or what the fuck is going on. Because the next scene is Bruce, and now he's back. Okay, so Bruce's fucking dumb bald friend shows up in a park, right?
Yeah.
And he watches some guy fighting like a snake.
Yeah.
And he like comes up and he's like, oh, hey, can you teach me? And then Bruce comes up and he's like, oh, hey, can you teach me? And then for some reason, this man says he knows snake kung fu style or something. Then he's going to be their new master. Okay.
I love like loyalty is just thrown around like,
Like he's like, what is this guy doing with the snake moves and all this? What type of kung fu is it? I don't know, sir. How about snake kung fu? That sounds great. Put it in the movie. Record that. I like that. Snake kung fu.
We tried snake fu. It didn't roll off the tongue very well.
Snake fu. That's what it should have been. In the video game world that this movie exists, every man is a master of his own unique style of kung fu. This man, snake fu. So then we see Bruce and Dumbo here, the bald guy, and they're eating. And then this scene just ends, and I have no idea what has actually transpired. Now Bruce is at home, he's reading comics, and then his Australian friend just comes in from a window. Like, he has a rope, and he just drops down into Bruce's window, and he's like, hey, there's some meeting somewhere tonight. And I write,
what meeting?
What the fuck is going on? So then we go to, quote, the place. And Bruce's friends, the Australian and Dumbo, they just show up in a field because, I don't know. And then Bruce shows up. There's this big fight, right?
Yeah.
Basically, we watch as Bruce's friends beat up these guys, and then Bruce beats up these guys. But you know what the fucking problem is with this scene, Chris? Everybody's dressed the fucking same.
Yeah.
Every goddamn person, Bruce, his friends, the bad guys, everybody's wearing fucking white shirts.
I don't know who's who. Like,
okay,
what's going on?
By the way, now, I don't mean this in a bad way.
Oh, here it comes.
They're all wearing
Here
white
it
shirts,
comes.
and they all have the same fucking haircut.
Uh-huh.
All I could see is the backs of heads. I don't know who the fuck's who. Like, I'm like, wait, are they fighting each other? I don't know what the fuck's happening.
It's the same bowl cut going against bowl cut. Back to back. You can't tell what's going on.
I was like, did the people who make this movie just have a big like truck full of white shirts and black pants, and they're like, well, this is the wardrobe.
like, what
what are we gonna do with all these white shirts? Everybody looks the same. Well, I don't know what to tell you. My brother owns a factory. This is all they make. It fell off a truck somewhere. They found a box full of white shirts. And they're like, well, this will work, right?
Yeah, it was the B, the B unit, the ones that are damaged.
Yeah.
Someone was caught peeing on these in the factory, so they had to get rid of them.
So Bruce loses a fight. His friends... Okay, I can't wait to get to this. His friends fight this boss guy, but then for some reason it gets all like comical and a fiddle starts playing, and then there's a boing effect, and I wrote that had to be added in the American cut, right? Like there's no way that the original movie had a boing. Like, you should imagine that producer like, hey, add in one of them boings. He's playing with the soundboard, you know? He's like, add this one in right there. It made me laugh.
We haven't used this in a while.
Yeah. We pay for all of these, you know. We got to use them all. Boing. He's just sitting there laughing his ass off for a good 20 minutes about that.
They keep rewinding it back and
Do
forth.
that. Can you rewind that movie? Put it to the part where he's rubbing those logs and put that boing. So his friends lose, okay?
Yeah.
No, okay, Chris, this is about to get to the point where it literally makes zero sense. Yeah. Okay? So his friends lose. Then we're going to cut to the day, and we see a boat on water, and then we pan over to a building, and a man's hung by a rope upside down.
Yeah.
We cut to Bruce's friends waking up in that building that they got beat up in, and it's night.
Okay, I thought I was losing it. I'm like... Either it was just a very poorly lit room,
No,
or
it's still night in that room. And then the bald guy wakes up and he goes to the other guy's like, hey, come on, wake up. And then he takes him off, right? The Australian guy. Then we go back to this boat with the hung man, and these people get him down, and we see now a crowd of hundreds of people have gathered because they probably really thought that a man got hung and that wasn't a movie.
Seriously. Yeah.
Because there's a giant crowd.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, wait. We're causing a scene. Let's end this scene real quick. Apparently, this hung man was Bruce, and so he's alive, but he's all beaten up. And his parents, like, care for him in his bed. And his dad says, Bruce, have you been out fighting again? And I write, what the hell do you think, old man?
No, you know what happened, Mike? He crossed the Union line. He crossed the picket line.
And then he says some other dad things because he's a fucking idiot, this old man.
Yeah.
And then for no reason, there's a basketball sitting right next to them in this scene. An oddly placed basketball sitting on the bed. Like, do you think he was coming? He's like, Bruce, do you want to play some basketball? Oh, my God. He was hung. Like, why is there a basketball in this scene? Why is it on the bed? Like, he was like, you know, Bruce, I had this whole day planned. We were going to go out and play basketball, and you ruined it. You ruined it like you always do with your fighting.
There was ice cream in the fridge.
This was my birthday, Bruce. All I wanted to do was play a basketball game with my son.
Yeah.
But you ruined it with your damn fighting.
You could have been dead.
Like, this is about as oddly placed as, like, if you've ever seen Buckaroo Banzai when they reference that watermelon in that scene.
Yeah.
There's not one prop in this whole movie, but for some reason they're like, hey, throw that basketball in the bed.
Yeah. This was just in, like, the writing room. If quote unquote writing room.
Like the writing room. Chris, this is from a break they took, and the PA forgot to remove it. Then they get the footage back. They're like, oh, why is there a basketball in this scene? He's like, oh, whoops. Basically, we then cut to this room with the, quote, bosses and the fan man. And they talk about something, but someone forgot to fucking frame the fan man in the shot. So all we can see is a shot of his arm going up and down and him talking, but we can't see the man.
No. If I recall, were there noises of the up and down motion with the hand?
I think so. It's
usually,
like,
yeah.
Well, hold on. We can't see him. We got to know that it's the fan man, though, so make some noises as we dub over his voice. Then they talk about beating the shit out of Bruce. or maybe about beating his master. And then I write, for a dubbed movie, this is all very confusing. They could literally tell me everything that's going on, but they choose not to.
Yeah.
Like, again, all right, I mean, we got until 8 o'clock. It's 5:30 right now. We got to fucking get this going. I'm just going to press play. You guys kind of just fill in what you think they're saying with your words. We don't have time to write a script. Just go. Something about beating that kid up. Go. That's what we're getting.
Snakes and masters.
Look, kid, we're recording this movie in real time. This bitch, we don't have time, okay? This film reel fell off the boat from Hong Kong way too late, if you know what I mean.
There's literally seaweed on it when they got it into the office.
I mean, look, it's my mistake. I shouldn't have booked it for tonight, but we got to do something. Ocean Shores Ltd. is a respectable company in this town. We're not a fly-by-night operation, all right?
Oscars, here we come.
You know, by the way, in 10 years, we're going to release this on DVD.
Something we can all be proud of.
We go back to Bruce, and apparently he's all better now. And apparently he's going to one of his masters, and I write, but this is not the guy from the start of the movie with the log breasts. This is another man. And then I write, oh, wait a second. That's that man from the park, the snake man.
Yeah.
Snake Fu. And so he walks into this room and Bruce goes like, oh, I've been hurt. And the guy goes, here, let me see. And then he sits down at a table and he looks at his palm and he goes, yeah, you've been hurt. And I write, what? Wait,
yeah, like
what?
Like how could he get tell? Like how? Like was it a little owie? Did he lick it good?
Yeah, this is like a palm reader diagnosed you. Like you go to a palm reader, they look at it and they go, well, you got cancer. Oh my God.
Let me see your other hand. Oh, double cancer.
Oh shit. Then we watch this snake guy do his snake style fighting, which when they dub this, they're like, because basically this man like raises his hands in the air like he's a cobra, and then he just kind of swings at the air and they go like kss, 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 with the sound effects.
Yeah.
This goes on for a long time as we watch him. Okay. This goes on for a long time. And by the way, the soundtrack in this part, I write,
yes.
Most songs have a bass line. This song has a gong line. It is just gong after gong after gong. You see him at Ocean Shores. He's like, look, kid, this music you brought me is fine. But how do we know we're in China?
How do we know? It's got to be ethnic. It's got to be, like, I got to smell the recipe. I got to smell the...
Kid, look, I got to be in the Orient. You know, I'm not there yet. But I got something for you. Press play on your little thing right there. I'm going to show you how we make this better. And then it's like the guy's sitting there going gong, gong, gong. Because it's like this gong, like I said, it goes like a bass line. It's like, da, 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 da. Here, you sing the regular part of the song. Gong, 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 gong. Like, there's so many gongs. There's gongs upon gongs. Like there's layers and layers of gongs.
It's like the end of like the Star Spangled Banner. You know?
It's like, he's just sitting there. Oh, the fucking button got stuck. See, kid, do you hear what I'm saying now? You hear all those gongs. Where do you think you are? China.
I can smell the noodles. Is that chow mein?
Chris,
I think so.
I'll tell you, son. I've never been in a Chinese restaurant where I didn't hear a gong. Not a once.
They do it when you sit down, when you stand up. It's the damnedest thing.
Sometimes when I walk in, they gong me in. Over at Madame Woo Woo's, my favorite place. I walk in, they gong me as I walk in.
Yeah.
I bow because, apparently that is the tradition. I bow. Not to show that I am weaker than them, but that's how they shake hands over there.
When I flush the toilet, it gongs.
Also, I'm a foot taller than all of them, so it's really funny when they bow to me and I can see the tops of their heads. Yeah, when they flush the toilets and gongs. Kid, you've never been to these restaurants, I'm telling you. When we're done with this movie, I'll take you out to dinner. We'll go down there.
Yeah. We'll stop at Madam Wong's or a little something.
I feel like I've eaten so much chow mein today that I can understand. I feel like I can talk with them tonight when we go down there. I might be able to converse with them in their language.
Can you get us a deal? Is the question. Free appetizer.
Maybe talk my way into a discount.
A green tea dessert.
Gong after gong in this soundtrack.
You know what this scene needs, kid? A gong.
They should have gonged their way through the whole movie. Like every time we cut to a new scene, it just goes a gong.
So Bruce learns all this stuff apparently from the Snake Man, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, you need to go practice on your own, which apparently means, Chris,
go down to the local pet store, get 5 snakes.
okay.
Tell them the master sent you.
Yeah, we cut to a shot of Bruce sitting on the ground, clapping his hands at a cobra, and it is not a fake cobra. This is a real cobra, and he's kind of clapping at it, you know? He's like it's a kid, like it's a little 2-year-old, and he's playing peekaboo with this thing, and he's clapping at it. And the cobra is getting real pissed, and then we watch as Bruce bitch slaps this cobra a little bit.
Did they have a smack sound when he did? Because that would have been great. I don't know if there was.
He literally bitch slaps a cobra a couple times. Like he's like, hey, yeah, like right in its face.
Like we're talking like go get your shine box style slap.
Yeah, he like open hand bitch slaps this cobra. And then I write, oh, fuck, that's a real cobra. Because at one point it bites him on the hand.
Yeah.
And there's real blood in this like out of focus shot of him grabbing his hand being like, oh, fuck, these aren't poisonous, right?
Is anyone going to call cut? No.
And I write, I hope this is the end of the movie. Like,
This is in memoriam, Bruce Lee, 1986, like a black and white photo of him, literally like holding his hand in black and white with the blood on it. It's just a freeze frame as his fucking memoriam photo of what just happened.
Yeah, because now there's 3 cobras, and he's sitting with cobras around him, like bitch slapping each one of them. One of them's even off screen because who gives a fuck about framing? And then Bruce, okay, now this makes even less sense. Is like then he takes one of the cobras and he like drinks this water, and then he starts spitting water in the cobra's face, like as if it wasn't pissed off enough.
Because is it supposed to be water? Because he acts drunk after a while.
I don't know what the fuck this
I think it's supposed to be alcohol because he gets drunk.
Okay, so then I wrote, because then he grabs the snake by the neck.
Yeah.
And then starts pouring. I wrote, he's either giving him a drink or he's giving it a shower. Because he like grabs this snake's neck and forces its mouth open and then just starts pouring either water or sake or whatever the fuck this is down its throat.
Yeah.
And then he keeps spitting at it and giving it a drink/shower. And the cobra definitely does not want a drink. It's looking at him like really pissed.
It would have been funnier if like he gave it a little tiny snake-sized jug, and this
little snake jug. And I write, I can safely say I've never seen a man bitch slap a cobra and then try to give it a shower. I've never seen that.
That's some like dominatrix S&M shit. Yeah, shower, quote unquote.
And this scene goes on for like 5 minutes of a man slapping a cobra in the face, cobra slap, and then giving it a drink. Okay, and then his dumb bald friend just shows up and he's like, hey, I need to talk to you. And then we see him walk down, out of focus, down a path, and then these people like accost him. They're like, hey, you owe us money.
Yeah.
And then they beat him up, and Bruce comes in to save the day. And this makes less sense than you could ever imagine, because Bruce goes, well, hey, what was that about? And he's like, oh, yeah, I owe them money. And he's like, oh, why do you owe them money? And he goes, because Charlie died. And I write, whoa. Okay, that Australian guy that got beat up, apparently he died in that fight, because the bald guy goes, yeah, he got beat up that one night, and then he never woke up, and he died, and then I had to borrow money for his funeral or something. And I write, all of this happens off scene.
Yeah.
Like, all of this happens off screen. The whole fucking plot point, a major character dies, and we just go like, fuck it.
It's just background noise we filled in with Exposition later.
I write, why the fuck did we not film this scene? No, we needed that 10 minutes of slapping the cobra. What the fuck?
Slapping the cobra. I did a lot of that in the Boy Scouts and campouts, just so you know. And there were no cobras.
Choking the snake,
And there were no cobras in
drowning
Virginia. None to be found in Virginia, Mike. I'll tell you that much. Except one.
Oh my god. Okay. What my theory is that over at Ocean Shores Video, they're like, what do you think they're talking about in this scene? And he goes, I don't know, but I haven't seen his friend in a long time. Oh yeah, maybe he died. Yeah, just write that in, because we got 3 minutes to kill with this conversation, and I don't know what the fuck to fill it with. What do you think those guys were beating him up? I don't know. He had to borrow money for Charlie's funeral. So do you think it's offensive that we named a character Charlie? What? All I hear in these Vietnam movies is Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. You think there's a whole fucking country named Charlie? And you're telling me it's offensive to call one Charlie? Give me a fucking break.
Sir, there's many other names that might be appropriate, but I think
his name is Charlie.
No, I just don't feel right.
I have a dog named Charlie as well, so we're gonna name it after my dog.
Well, you're going to say their name. Next, you're going to say they name it after their dinner. Then come on, give me a break.
Well, I might as well scratch out this. The next man's name was gonna be Chow Mein, but. But okay. And I guess you'll say that we can't call him Master Kung Pao Chicken either. You fucking PC son of a bitch. This is Reagan's America, son. If I want to name an Asian Charlie, I'll name him fucking Charlie. And you know what? You'll fucking smile. And you'll press that gong sound effect when I fucking tell you to. What's your name, Lucas? All right, so then we go to a restaurant, and that's when Chun-Li from Bloodsport shows up, and him and Bruce get in a fight. We see Bruce. Well, okay, so this scene happens like we see a restaurant, and we see Fan Man sitting at a table, and then these goons show up, and then we see Bruce sitting at another table, and I write, why even have a scene that explains why they would be in the same place, right? Mm-hmm. Just cut to it. Why even have a guy die when we can see that he just died off screen? I mean, why?
Yeah.
Right? Like a fucking major character. Who cares? And I write, they should have just had Obi-Wan die off screen. In the first Star Wars,
yeah,
like they get back on the Falcon, and Han just goes, and like Luke is like, "Hey, what happened to Ben?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, about that. I saw him getting this fight with that guy with the black helmet thing on, and he just died. He died. He just became like this pile of robes."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, tough fucking luck, right? Let's go." Like, don't you think that would have made perfect sense? Like, just fuck it. Why even have it on screen? Yeah. Fuck it. Like the part when Luke goes to see Yoda. Fuck, why do we need to see Yoda die? Just have Luke take off, and then later in the movie, like a half hour later, he'll just go like, "Oh yeah, Yoda died." Oh really? Oh yeah. I didn't think we needed to show it or anything because just drag things down. I had to slap a cobra a little bit, fuck it.
It's a new film term, slap the cobra. Whenever we need to drag something out so we can't have a real scene, we just slap the cobra a bit.
Like, I'm wondering all these movies that you could just cut out the important death and just replace it with a little bit of cobra slapping, Yeah, fuck it. Why do we need it? Why show a death when you could just reference it? Like, that's the point where we're at. They get in a long fight scene because, why not? And I write, there's 24 minutes left of this movie, and all that's really happened is Bruce got beat up, their friend died off screen, and then he tried to drown a cobra. And I write, nope, gets worse. The bald guy shows up, and he goes, okay, after this fight, Bruce wins, and then the bald guy shows up, and he goes, hey, that gang is trying to steal money from people at the school, and that's the people that killed Charlie. And Bruce goes, okay. So apparently the bald guy, once again, has learned something off screen. Like, in the beginning of this movie, we had to watch him fucking walk around a town square and pray at a fucking temple and just, like, kind of look at fucking fruit in various little shops.
You got to see some peeping Toms.
But finding out a major plot point? Fuck it.
Be damned.
Yeah, you're right. Peeping Tom scene, rubbing logs, practicing to become a pastry chef, hitting sand with our hands, slapping a cobra. But you know what? Showing a central character die, showing a central plot point that we're going to reveal.
No time.
Fuck it.
No time.
The van logic in this movie is just amazing.
Yeah. Let's put the van to shame. This is like below anything the van could have done. Do you think there's got to be that point where like the master comes and goes, Bruce, I've got money. Like,
Bruce, I've got the money. That would have been amazing if that's how this movie ended. Yeah. Bruce, I got the money. Movie's over. No, instead we just now we get literally the most useless scene in this whole fucking movie is we go to the White Shirt Clan. We go to the White Shirt Clan and the master's there, and then the fan man shows up and he goes, "Hey, we're in trouble." And then Bruce and the bald guy just walk in, and I write, "Well, that was fast."
Yeah.
And then there's a big fight scene, and then the bald guy loses, and Bruce wins, and they just kind of leave.
Yeah.
Like there's no finish. Like you would think this would be the final confrontation.
Yeah.
No, they just walk out of the room, and the master's just kind of looking at me. He's like, "Well, I guess you lost." And they're like, "Okay, well, we're gonna take our ball and go home."
Yeah, there's no real resolution to any of these scenes.
No. Yeah, none.
No.
Cut to later. Now, this is the most useless fucking scene in the movie, and this is when I lost it. Two White Shirt Clan guys are fighting. One has a sword, like a pirate cutlass. Like, he looks like fucking Captain Jack Sparrow or some shit. And the other guy has a big stick, like he's Donatello from the Ninja Turtles. And, all right, well, seems like an unfair fight to me. And then this guy, also named Master, and I'm not sure I've seen this man before, but everyone's called fucking Master, so who knows, shows this guy how to hold a sword. This goes on for a while. I'm really not sure why. These people are all new to me. We have less than 20 minutes left of this movie, but you know what? Why cover a death of a major character when you can have a lesson on how to use a cutlass and a stick, right? Fuck it. 5 minutes of stick and sword fights. Let's do it. We watch a man being like, "No, you got to hold the sword like this, and then you swing your stick like that." All right, everybody got it? Great. This is central point to the movie. We have 20 minutes left. This is very important. Shoehorn this fucking shit in.
We need to show them that we know how to use a weapon. Because so far it's just been slapping snakes around, all right?
That's got to be a new term for something. Slapping the snake, slapping the cobra, Drowning the cobra.
That's when you do it underwater, Mike. That's when you're in the bathtub.
So then we go to Bruce's home, and so Bruce's old man father opens the door, and the fan man and this master show up, and apparently they're all friends, and they're like, "Hey, Bruce is a real asshole," and he's like, "Oh God, I'm mad." And then they leave, and then his dad calls Bruce in the room, and he slaps him, and I'm still not sure what any of this is about. Then we go to this master guy. His name is Mr. Kim, but I know him as Stick and Sword Man, and the fan man comes up with gifts, because apparently like it's a birthday or something. Who knows? There's going to be a woman that jumps out of a cake at some point. I have no fucking
No, I saw the alternate gets a snake comes out of a cake.
What do you think if it was just in those boxes was just some cobras?
We know you've been learning with snakes. We just wanted to encourage you further. These ones are extra poisonous, so you have to train extra hard.
And I don't know what they talk about, but it ends eventually, and they hate Bruce. Then we go to Bruce and the bald guy, and they're practicing snake fighting in a park, and then they're attacked by the fan man and some guys. This just goes on. All right, basically, there's just a series of fights, and this is it. There's just a series of fights, right?
Yeah.
And then Bruce goes up to that stick man's house, the stick and sword man, who's this master guy that I don't know if we've seen before.
No.
But they get in this big fight scene, and then this movie ends on literally the greatest ending to a movie I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. I'm going to read you the exact quotes, Chris. Bruce beats up this man, and then he stands over him on the field, and he goes, "Mr. Kim, I'm sorry, but that's the way you wanted it." And he goes, "You fight well. Take care of yourself." And Bruce goes, "So long." And then he does a jump kick in the air, freeze frame, credits. No, freeze frame, music swells, no credits.
Yeah.
Mr. Kim, I'm sorry, but that's the way you wanted it.
Sure. You fight well. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye.
So long.
No, hey, cut out all them credits. They didn't make the movie over here, they made it over there. No, none of these Wang Chungs getting credit over here.
Yeah.
It's Vestra. I'm sorry.
Vestra.
I have a lot of beef with Vestra Video. Don't get me started, son. It's Ocean Shores Video Ltd. All rights reserved. We're putting our name on this movie, and them people over in China, they can suck it. All right? They can go slap the Cobra for all I care. So, Chris, I hate to ask, but recommendation?
Not really.
Fuck no.
No. First 5 minutes, yeah, but that's about it.
Okay, well, I'm sorry if this is one of those episodes of Grindbin. Apparently, people enjoy the episodes when we go through a lot of pain.
How masochistic of them.
Yeah. This movie. I don't know what to make. Can't make heads or tails of this one.
No, I can't imagine this having a showing and people going and coming out of it saying, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, there's probably thousands of these movies out there. This one, I don't know if it's good compared to others.
Out
I
of all
haven't
the
seen many
movies
of
of
them.
this type that were made, this is one of them. That's all I can say.
Look, kid, I don't begrudge you for not liking the movie. Here at Ocean Shores Ltd., we buy a lot of movies. Not all of them can be good. Those boats come over from China. We negotiate in the parking lot. This was just one of the package deals. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, hold on, 20 movies. $20.
Cash only, cash only.
All right, 5, 10. I gotta buy that movie too. Whatever. Throw it in. Just put it in this fucking. Put it in this
Rickshaw.
No, put it in this radio flyer. The intern will take it back to the office. They just go down to the docks every Sunday and buy some movies. We just get a bunch of reels. Whether or not it's a full movie, I don't know. Sometimes you gotta mix and match, but
Sometimes we'll make movies out of trailers.
I mean, whatever works, you know?
Yeah.
Just slap our name on it, take out all those fucking credits because they ain't getting one fucking thing, and just make sure it's got some fight scenes in it. Also, we're just going to name it Bruce Lee because everybody in this country doesn't know the difference.
They all look the same.
They don't even know he's dead.
No.
All right.
That's what he says.
It's 1982. People might forgot. You know, they don't know.
Yeah.
Chris, do you hear that sound?
God. Yeah, and I hear it whirling by and just not even coming
No,
back.
Chris, in the few episodes of this show that we didn't do Van, our regular feature, which you'll explain in a second, we got nothing but grief from our listeners for not doing it. So no matter how absurd it might sound, Chris.
If this is the first time you are hearing the Grindbin podcast, we always harken back to the first episode we ever covered, 1977's The Van, which we don't encourage you to listen to by any means. The Van stars Stuart Goetz, a ginger high school grad who buys a garish yellow van in which he attempts to lure women into with the attempts to rape them vigorously and without merits or regrets, and his co-worker and cohorts Andy, played by Danny DeVito, also a somewhat of a scummy character as well. How do these two fit into any movie we would cover? Mike.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You looked at me first because you were thinking, I'm going to figure this one out, huh?
Yeah.
You put me on the spot. Well, I don't see Bobby and... Well, we were at that whorehouse earlier.
Yes.
What you didn't see is in one of those other rooms.
Yeah.
A little poof of ginger hair sticking out of one of the doors. And he goes, oh, Andy, I'm glad we decided to take this trip to China. Yeah, Bobby. I heard good things. They got great food. We enjoy the food over here. And they got cheap whores over here. They definitely would find their way into that whorehouse.
See, that's the only thing I could think of is, all right, there's a whorehouse. Where else are they going to be? Learning kung fu? No. There's nothing
Maybe
else in this
there's
movie for
like
them to do.
this elusive master.
Oh.
And then Bobby. And he's like the master of sex fighting. He's like master of like coercion.
Yes, that's his skill.
All right, Bruce. I'm glad you came to my master class.
This is the Bobby Dojo. I don't know if
The
they have
first
dojos
lesson
in
we're
this,
gonna do is this is called a joint.
Now you're going to offer it to the girl, and if she says no, you're going to say, well, do you like Vans? That's your second question.
And are you into studs?
If she says no to that, you ask, are you into studs? And if she says no to that, well, that's where you got your little friend, your little hanky, which at home you're filled with something we like to call chloroform in the States. But here, I don't know the name of it. And so Bobby's just, he's traveling around China, the straight arrow, and him and Andy are giving lessons on how to lure women into Vans.
I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it. Yeah, I'd see Bobby being his own master, or going to a master that teaches him a really quick wrist motion. Really quick.
Yeah, I could see Bobby going to that guy, and he's like, yeah, I want to harden my arm. You can see Bobby trying that wood thing with the boobs coming out of it, and he's just getting a hard on the whole time. No, Bobby, you can't graduate until you don't get a hard on immediately. Like, that's the lesson. It's like, touch this log with breasts. And if you don't get a hard on, you've passed.
Yeah.
And he's always trying to stick his dick in that sand, the hot sand.
Is this what it feels like?
Is this what it feels like? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's how you harden the hands, you harden the dick. You shove your dick repeatedly in a hot bucket of sand.
You gotta callus it up so you last longer. That's why you gotta.
Bobby, if you do this, you'll last much longer.
Yeah, in fact, you last long because you can't feel anything anymore.
We just cut to a scene of Andy, like DeVito and Bobby just humping buckets of hot sand. Like, they bring it back to the States and they're doing it at the car wash. And Bill Adler's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I'm like, joke's on you, buddy. It's a secret.
Ancient Chinese secret. Ancient Chinese sex secrets.
Ancient Chinese sex secret. Up a bucket of hot sand. Definitely.
We had to go around the world for the secret. We are sharing it with nobody. Nobody, Bill.
We paid a lot of good money for this secret, Bobby. And the next time Bobby gets with a girl, she pulls out his pants and she goes, "What is wrong down here?"
Yeah. Oh no, it's not any sort of disease.
Just boils and shit all over this thing. It looks like a fucking knotted log or something. This thing. It looks like somebody took a fucking can of those Pillsbury biscuits and just squeezed the shit out of it.
Looks like if you did that and dipped it in cranberry sauce.
Ancient Chinese secret. Oh boy, they fit in well with this movie.
They do. And it was hard at first, but now I know.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sean, for sending me this movie. This will be the only time we ever accept a listener submission to the podcast without screening it first. But thank you very much. I had fun.
Oh, this is great. Yeah.
I can't recommend this movie, but what are you gonna do?
Not do it again.
Yeah.
No. Fuck it.
Thank you so much for the increase in reviews. We've been getting a lot of reviews on iTunes. We've noticed a lot of new listeners, so it's very nice of you to write us reviews. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you write into the podcast, we will cover a movie that you recommend. I've gotten like 4 or 5 new reviews this past week, and not one person has emailed to ask for their recommendation.
Yeah, talking about dodging the bullet on that one.
Well, thanks again for joining us on the Grindbin. If you want to get in touch with us after this debacle of an episode, grindbin@gmail.com, grindhousefilm.com, Twitter @grindpod, Instagram, Facebook.
And if you would be so kind as to hit subscribe in iTunes, that purple rectangular button, and in Google Play, I don't know what it says in there, but hit subscribe there as well. And again, France, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
I'm going.
Come on,
Yeah,
come on, France.
Yeah.
Let's get an email.
I'm gonna be in France June 8th at a place called Hellfest, and I will be fucking
Chris will be
waiting.
the man humping a bucket of hot sand.
Yeah, I will be on stage humping a bucket of hot sand during leftover crack
and
So,
slapping that cobra.
slapping the cobra.
Slapping the cobra, drowning the cobra, whatever you want to call it.
Deep throat in the baguette, what have you? And
Right around in his crepe van.
I'll be a serial crepist.
We had ideas for a crepe restaurant. Chris and I were going to start, right?
Yep.
So the standalone shop version would be called.
That
was serial crepist.
Oh, okay, serial crepist.
And the mobile version would be called date crepe.
Oh God.
We feel that these would be huge successes
With the frats community and college campuses.
with the era in which these movies were made. That's for sure.
They would be parked outside the cinemas and drive-ins. Bobby, slap the cobra.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team.
But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky ain't got no real culture.
Hello, pizza man.